In the vast expanse of space, humanity had finally found its footing among the stars. After centuries of struggle and innovation, Earth was no longer just a small blue dot in the cosmos, but a rising power in the galaxy. The Galactic Council, an assembly of advanced civilizations, governed interstellar affairs, though humanity's place within it remained tenuous at best. Many older species viewed humans as impulsive newcomers who lacked the wisdom that came with millennia of existence. Ryan Carter stood outside the towering council chamber, his heart pounding. At 32, he was one of the youngest diplomats Earth had ever sent to represent them. His dark hair was neatly combed, and his suit bore the emblem of the United Earth Alliance, a symbol of unity forged through decades of conflict and cooperation back home. He took a deep breath, trying to steady himself. Today would be different. Today, he carried a message that could change everything. Inside the chamber, representatives from dozens of alien races filled the circular room. Their forms varied wildly. Some resembled bipedal creatures with shimmering scales. Others floated above their seats, glowing faintly. The air buzzed with murmurs in countless languages, all translated seamlessly by neural implants embedded in each attendee's mind. Ryan walked to the center platform, feeling the weight of countless eyes on him. Some looked curious, others dismissive, and a few even hostile. Esteemed members of the Galactic Council, Ryan began, his voice steady despite the nerves gnawing at him. I come before you today, not as a representative of a young and inexperienced species, but as a voice for survival itself. He paused, letting his words sink in. Around him, the murmurings softened slightly. Our probes have detected an unprecedented threat moving through uncharted space. We call it the Veil. It is unlike anything we, or any of you, have encountered before. He activated a holographic display, projecting images captured by Earth's deep space surveillance systems. The visuals showed massive, shifting shapes that seemed almost alive, swallowing entire star systems whole. These are not random phenomena. This entity is deliberate. It erases planets, civilizations, and leaves nothing behind. No ruins, no survivors, nothing. A ripple of unease spread across the chamber. Some delegates leaned forward, intrigued, while others exchanged skeptical glances. One ambassador, a hulking insectoid creature, clicked its mandibles loudly. Why should we believe these claims? It asked, its tone sharp and accusatory. Humans have been wrong about threats before. Perhaps this is another attempt to justify your rapid expansion into our territories. Ryan clenched his fists briefly under the podium, but kept his expression calm. I understand your doubts, he replied. But consider this, if what I say is true, and I assure you it is, then none of us will be safe. Not even the oldest or most powerful among you. He glanced toward Lena Voss, a slender, silver-skinned diplomat seated nearby. She met his gaze briefly, her large, almond-shaped eyes unreadable. Her people, the Voskans, were known for their neutrality, often abstaining from galactic conflicts. If anyone could sway opinion, it might be her. We ask not for dominance or control, Ryan continued, addressing the council once more. We seek only unity. Together, we can prepare. Alone, we risk annihilation. The chamber erupted into arguments, some shouting over others. Amidst the chaos, Ryan stepped back, watching silently. He knew his plea had planted seeds of doubt in some minds. Whether they would grow into action remained uncertain. But as he left the chamber, he couldn't shake the feeling that time was running out. For everyone. Ryan returned to Earth with a heavy heart. The Galactic Council's reaction had been worse than he'd feared. Most members dismissed his warnings as exaggerated or politically motivated. Only a handful, like Lena Voss, seemed genuinely concerned, but even she hesitated to commit her people to action. Back on Earth, the situation felt just as tense. News of the Council's indifference spread quickly, sparking debates in governments and households alike. Some argued that humanity should focus on defending itself, rather than seeking allies who clearly didn't care. Others worried that acting alone might provoke the very threat Ryan had warned about. President Laura Hayes sat at the head of a long table in the United Earth Alliance headquarters, her sharp blue eyes scanning the faces of her advisors. General Daniel Brooks, a grizzled man with a no-nonsense demeanor, stood near a large screen displaying maps of nearby star systems. Ryan Carter was also present, seated beside Dr. Elena Morales, the lead scientist analyzing the data from Earth's deep space probes. The room buzzed with quiet murmurs until President Hayes raised a hand for silence. "Ryan," she said, her tone firm, but not unkind, "tell us again what you saw. What exactly are we dealing with?" Ryan leaned forward, resting his elbows on the table. "The Veil isn't just a fleet or an army. It's something else entirely. Our probes captured footage of it consuming entire planets. It doesn't invade in the traditional sense. It overwhelms. And when it's done, there's nothing left. No debris, no survivors. Just empty space." Elena nodded, chiming in. "From what we've analyzed, the Veil seems to operate like a hive mind. Each part works together as one unit. That's why it's so efficient and so dangerous." General Brooks crossed his arms, his expression grim. "If the Council won't help us, then we'll have to handle this ourselves. We can't wait around while they argue over politics." "But how?" asked another advisor, a younger woman named Clara Bennett. "Even if we prepare, we're still outnumbered and outgunned. We don't know enough about them to fight effectively." Ryan sighed, rubbing his temples. "That's the problem. We don't have time to learn more. Every day we delay gives the Veil another chance to grow stronger. If we act too late, it might be unstoppable." President Hayes tapped her fingers on the table, deep in thought. Finally, she spoke. "Then we'll do both. We'll prepare for war, but we'll also try diplomacy one last time. Ryan, I want you to reach out directly to any species willing to listen. Don't go through the Council. Go straight to their leaders. Make them understand what's at stake." "And us?" General Brooks asked, his voice low. "We'll begin Operation Sentinel," Hayes replied. "Deploy our best ships to patrol the outer edges of human-controlled space. If the Veil comes near, we'll meet it head-on. And if the Council won't stand with us, then we'll show them what humanity is made of." As the meeting adjourned, Ryan approached Elena. "Do you think we can really pull this off?" he asked quietly. She hesitated before answering. "I don't know. But I do know one thing. If we don't try, we're finished." Meanwhile, preparations began across Earth and its colonies. Captain Olivia Grant, a seasoned pilot known for her calm under pressure, received orders to lead one of the first patrols. She gathered her crew aboard the newly commissioned ship Dauntless Asterisk, a sleek vessel equipped with cutting-edge technology. As they prepared for launch, Olivia couldn't shake the feeling that this mission would change everything, for better or worse. Days turned into weeks, and tensions mounted. Humanity stood on the brink of war, facing an enemy unlike any other. The galaxy watched, waiting to see if Earth's bold gamble would pay off or end in disaster. The Dauntless Asterisk soared through the silent void of space, its sleek hull glinting faintly in the light of distant stars. Captain Olivia Grant sat in the command chair on the bridge, her sharp green eyes scanning the monitors before her. Around her, the hum of the ship's systems filled the air, a constant reminder of the delicate balance between technology and survival. Her crew moved with practiced efficiency, each person focused on their task. They were humanity's first line of defense against the Veil, and they all knew what was at stake. Olivia's second-in-command, Marcus Lane, leaned over a console nearby. A tall man with broad shoulders and a no-nonsense attitude, Marcus had earned his reputation as one of Earth's finest soldiers. "Anything yet?" he asked, glancing at the sensor readings. "Nothing," Olivia replied, her voice calm but tinged with unease. "But that doesn't mean it's not out there. Keep scanning." The patrol mission was simple in theory. Monitor the outer edges of human-controlled space for signs of the Veil. If they detected anything unusual, they were to report back immediately. Engaging the enemy directly was discouraged unless absolutely necessary. Still, Olivia couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. The emptiness of space seemed heavier somehow, as if it carried the weight of an unseen threat. Back on Earth, Ryan Carter worked tirelessly to rally support. He reached out to ambassadors and leaders across the galaxy, bypassing the Galactic Council entirely. Some ignored him outright, while others listened politely but offered little more than vague promises. One species, however, surprised him: the Zorathians, a reclusive race known for their advanced technology and mistrust of outsiders. Their ambassador, Cal Draven, agreed to meet with Ryan aboard a neutral station orbiting a dying star. Cal was unlike any alien Ryan had encountered before. His scaled skin shimmered faintly, and his piercing yellow eyes seemed to look straight through Ryan. "You claim this veil is a danger to us all," Cal said, his deep voice resonating. "Yet your own council doubts you. Why should we believe you?" Ryan took a deep breath. "Because I've seen the evidence. Because I know what happens when we ignore threats like this. You've seen how quickly the veil grows. It won't stop until everything is gone. Even you." Cal studied him for a long moment before nodding slowly. "Perhaps. But trust must be earned. Show me proof, human. Then we will talk." While Ryan negotiated with Cal, tensions rose among Earth's population. News outlets broadcast endless debates about the veil and humanity's response. Protesters gathered outside government buildings, some demanding stronger action, others urging caution. Laura Hayes, the president, addressed the nation in a rare live speech. "We are ready," she declared. "If the veil comes for us, we will stand together. Humanity has faced challenges before, and we have always prevailed. This time will be no different." As days passed, the Dauntless continued its patrol. The crew grew restless, the monotony broken only by occasional drills. Then, one night, alarms blared across the ship. "Captain," shouted the sensor operator, a young woman named Mia Chen. "We've got something." Massive energy signatures moving toward us. Olivia sprang to her feet, her calm demeanor replaced by steely focus. "On screen," she ordered. The main monitor flickered to life, revealing a swirling mass of dark shapes emerging from the depths of space. It was the veil. "All hands to battle stations," Olivia commanded. "Marcus, prepare the weapons. Mia, send a distress signal to Earth. Let them know we found it, and that it's heading our way." The crew scrambled to follow her orders, adrenaline coursing through their veins. Outside the ship, the veil loomed closer, its organic forms shifting and pulsating like living shadows. For the first time, humanity came face to face with the unknown, a moment that would define their place in the galaxy forever. The Dauntless trembled as the veil closed in, its massive forms blotting out the distant stars. Captain Olivia Grant gripped the arms of her command chair, her jaw tight with determination. On the main screen, the swirling mass of alien shapes shifted and pulsed, exuding an eerie sense of life. "Weapons online," Marcus Lane reported from his station, his voice steady despite the tension thick in the air. "Shields at full strength." "Good," Olivia replied, her eyes locked on the monitor. "Mia, did the distress signal go through?" "Yes, Captain," Mia Chen answered quickly. "Earth should receive it within minutes." Olivia nodded but didn't take her gaze off the approaching threat. She knew help wouldn't arrive in time. If they were going to survive this encounter, it would be up to them. "All hands, brace for impact," she called over the ship's intercom. The crew scrambled to secure themselves as the first wave of energy surged toward the Dauntless. The veil struck without warning, unleashing a barrage of strange, amorphous projectiles that seemed alive. They latched onto the ship's shields, writhing and pulsating as if trying to consume the vessel whole. Alarms blared as the shields began to weaken under the relentless assault. "Divert power from non-essential systems to the shields," Olivia ordered. Marcus acted swiftly, rerouting energy while keeping one eye on the tactical display. "They're adapting," he said grimly. "Every time we adjust, they change their attack pattern." Olivia clenched her fists. "Then we'll adapt faster. Fire plasma cannons. Target their central mass." The Dauntless shuddered as its weapons roared to life, sending streams of superheated energy into the void. The blasts tore through several of the Veil's tendrils, causing them to disintegrate into glowing fragments. For a brief moment, it seemed like the counterattack might work. But then, something unexpected happened. The destroyed pieces began to reform, merging back into the larger entity, as if nothing had happened. "It's healing itself," Mia exclaimed, her voice tinged with panic. "We can't stop it." Olivia's mind raced. There had to be a way to break through. "Marcus, focus fire on one section. Keep hitting it until it collapses. Maybe we can overwhelm it." Marcus nodded and adjusted the targeting systems. The Dauntless unleashed another volley, concentrating all its firepower on a single tendril. This time, the barrage caused visible damage, forcing the Veil to retreat slightly. Encouraged by the small victory, Olivia pushed forward. "Keep firing. Don't let up." But the Veil wasn't done. It retaliated with a surge of energy that overwhelmed the ship's defenses. The Dauntless rocked violently, throwing crew members off their feet. Sparks flew from damaged consoles, and smoke filled the air. "Shields are down to 20%, Marcus shouted. "We need to pull back." Mia pleaded, her face pale with fear. "No," Olivia said firmly. "Not yet. We've got one shot left." She turned to Marcus. "Charge the EMP cannon. We'll use it to disable them. If they're part machine, it might work." Marcus hesitated. The EMP cannon was experimental and could leave the Dauntless vulnerable if it failed. But he trusted Olivia's judgment. "Charging now," he said, his fingers flying over the controls. Outside, the Veil prepared for another attack, its tendrils coiling menacingly. Just as it lunged forward, the Dauntless fired the EMP. A pulse of blue light erupted from the ship, washing over the Veil. For a moment, everything went silent. Then, slowly, parts of the Veil began to falter, its movements sluggish and uncoordinated. "It worked," Mia cried, relief breaking through her fear. But the victory was short-lived. Though weakened, the Veil didn't retreat completely. Instead, it began to drift away, retreating into the depths of space. Olivia watched as the alien mass disappeared, her heart pounding. "Did we scare it off?" Marcus asked, his tone uncertain. "I don't think so," Olivia replied softly. "It's not gone. It's just waiting." Back on Earth, Ryan Carter received word of the encounter. He listened intently as reports poured in, detailing the battle and the Veil's behavior. His expression grew darker with each update. Humanity had survived its first clash with the unknown, but at what cost? And how long would it be before the Veil returned, stronger than ever? News of the Dauntless encounter with the Veil spread quickly across the galaxy, sparking a mix of fear, disbelief, and outrage. For many species, it was the first tangible proof that the Veil wasn't just a rumor or an exaggerated threat. It was real, and it was dangerous. Back on Earth, the response was equally divided. Some hailed the crew of the Dauntless as heroes who had faced the unknown and survived. Others accused them of provoking the Veil, arguing that humanity's reckless actions might have drawn its attention even closer. Ryan Carter found himself at the center of the storm. As Earth's representative, he was bombarded with questions from both the Galactic Council and his own people. At a press conference in New York, reporters shouted over one another, demanding answers. "Is it true? The Veil is targeting us because of your mission?" One asked sharply. "What's next for Earth's defense strategy?" Another pressed. Ryan raised a hand to quiet the room, though his calm demeanor barely masked his frustration. The dauntless didn't provoke anything, he said firmly. They were doing their job, protecting humanity. What we learned from that encounter is clear. The Veil adapts quickly, and it doesn't back down easily. But we also proved something else, that we can fight back. His words did little to ease tensions. Across the planet, protests erupted. In cities like Chicago and Tokyo, crowds gathered outside government buildings, holding signs that read "No more war and "Protect our future." Others, however, rallied in support of stronger action. In London, thousands marched through the streets chanting, "Stand together." Their message was simple. If humanity wanted to survive, it needed to unite, not just among themselves, but with other species willing to help. Meanwhile, aboard the dauntless Captain Olivia Grant and her crew returned to Earth as reluctant celebrities. Though the ship had sustained heavy damage during the battle, every member of the crew had survived, a fact that only added to their growing legend. Olivia, however, felt no pride. She stood in the briefing room at Alliance headquarters, staring at the table as General Daniel Brooks reviewed the mission report. "You did well out there," Brooks said finally, breaking the silence. "Better than anyone could have expected." Olivia shook her head. "We didn't win, General. We barely survived. If the Veil had stayed longer, we wouldn't be here right now." Brooks nodded grimly. "You're right. But you gave us something we didn't have before, data. We know more about how it fights, how it thinks. That gives us a chance to prepare." Preparations were already underway. Engineers worked around the clock to repair the dauntless and upgrade its systems, while scientists pored over the recordings and sensor data collected during the battle. Dr. Elena Morales led the effort, her lab filled with holographic projections of the Veil's structure. "It's not just alive," she explained to Ryan during a late-night meeting. "It's learning. Every time we hit it, it changes. It's evolving." Ryan frowned. "So what does that mean for us?" "It means we need a new plan," Elena replied. "Fighting it directly isn't enough. We need to find its weakness, something fundamental that makes it work." As humanity scrambled to adapt, cracks began to form within the Galactic Council. Ambassador Cal Draven, the Zorethian who had once doubted Ryan's warnings, now spoke openly about the need for cooperation. "If the Veil continues unchecked, no one will be safe," he told the Council during an emergency session. His words carried weight, and several smaller species began to side with him. Even Lena Voss, whose people had long maintained neutrality, seemed to waver. But resistance remained strong. Many older, more powerful species still refused to act, dismissing the Veil as humanity's problem. "Let them deal with their own mess," growled a reptilian ambassador during one heated debate. "Why should we risk our fleets for their mistakes?" Ryan watched silently from the sidelines, his frustration mounting. He knew time was running out. Humanity couldn't face the Veil alone, but convincing others to join them was proving harder than he'd ever imagined. In the weeks following the dauntless encounter with the Veil, Dr. Elena Morales worked tirelessly in her lab, surrounded by glowing holograms and stacks of data tablets. She barely slept, driven by a growing sense that humanity's survival depended on uncovering the truth about their enemy. One night, as she analyzed recordings from the battle, something caught her attention, a faint pattern hidden within the Veil's movements. At first, it seemed random, but the more she studied it, the clearer it became. It wasn't just adapting, it was communicating. Elena called an emergency meeting with Ryan Carter and General Daniel Brooks. The three gathered in a secure room at Alliance headquarters, where Elena projected her findings onto a large screen. "Look at this," she said, pointing to a series of pulsating waves emitted by the Veil during the battle. "These aren't random energy bursts. They're signals, part of a network." Ryan leaned forward, his brow furrowed. "A network? You mean like a hive mind?" "Exactly," Elena replied. "The Veil isn't just one entity. It's made up of countless pieces, all connected through some kind of central hub. Think of it like a brain controlling everything else. General Brooks crossed his arms, his expression grim. So if we take out the hub, we might be able to stop it, Elena finished. But it won't be easy. The hub is likely deep inside the Veil's core, protected by layers of those tendrils we saw in the battle. Ryan rubbed his temples, thinking hard. Even if we find the hub, how do we get close enough to destroy it? Their ability to adapt makes any direct attack nearly impossible. Elena hesitated before speaking again. We'd need a specialized team. One small enough to slip past their defenses, but skilled enough to handle whatever they face. And we'd need a weapon designed specifically to disrupt their neural network. Brooks nodded slowly. It's risky, but it might be our only shot. I'll start assembling a team immediately. The next day, Ryan presented the plan to President Laura Hayes. Her office overlooked the sprawling city below, but her focus remained entirely on the briefing. You want to send a crew into the heart of the Veil? She asked, her tone measured but skeptical. It's the only way, Ryan insisted. If we don't try, we're sitting ducks. The Veil will keep coming until there's nothing left. Hayes sighed, weighing the risks. Finally, she gave a reluctant nod. Do it, but choose your people carefully. This mission can't fail. Ryan turned to Olivia Grant, who had been temporarily reassigned to Earth after the Dauntless repairs. When he explained the plan, she didn't hesitate. I'm in, she said firmly. If anyone can pull this off, it's us. Marcus Lane also volunteered without hesitation, along with Mia Chen, whose technical expertise would be crucial for navigating the Veil's defenses. Rounding out the team was Elena herself, who insisted on joining to ensure the disruption device worked properly. I built it, she said simply. I'm not letting someone else handle it. As preparations began, tensions ran high. The mission required modifying a smaller, faster ship capable of evading the Veil's massive forms. Engineers worked around the clock, installing advanced cloaking technology and reinforcing the hull. Meanwhile, the team trained relentlessly, simulating every possible scenario they might face. Back at the Galactic Council, Ryan made one final plea for support. Though most species still refused to act, Cal Draven offered a surprising gesture. Take this, he said, handing Ryan a small crystalline device. It's a Zorathian beacon. If you succeed, activate it near the hub. It will broadcast a signal across the galaxy, proving once and for all that the Veil can be stopped. Ryan accepted the gift with gratitude, knowing it represented more than just technology. It symbolized hope. As he returned to Earth, he felt a flicker of optimism despite the odds. Humanity was about to take its boldest step yet, diving straight into the heart of the unknown. Success or failure would determine not just their fate, but the fate of the entire galaxy. The small, modified ship named Shadow Strike Asterisk, slipped silently through the void of space, its cloaking device rendering it nearly invisible. Inside, the team sat in tense silence, each person lost in their own thoughts. Captain Olivia Grant piloted the vessel with steady hands, her eyes fixed on the swirling mass of the Veil ahead. Marcus Lane checked his weapon for the 100th time, while Mia Chen monitored the sensors, watching for any sign of detection. Elena Morales clutched the disruption device close, her mind racing with calculations and contingencies. As they approached the Veil, the air grew heavier, filled with an unspoken awareness of the danger surrounding them. The alien entity loomed larger now, its shifting tendrils pulsating like a living thing. Hold on, Olivia said softly, guiding the ship into the outer layers of the Veil's structure. The hull groaned as they passed through a dense field of energy, but the cloaking system held firm. Inside the Veil, the environment was unlike anything they had ever seen. Strange, glowing shapes floated around them, some resembling fragments of destroyed ships or planets. These are remnants, Elena whispered, her voice trembling. Pieces of civilizations it consumed. Mia stared at the monitors, her face pale. It's not just consuming matter. It's absorbing knowledge, memories, everything. That's how it grows smarter. Marcus frowned. Then we're not just fighting a monster. We're fighting history itself. They pressed onward, navigating deeper into the labyrinthine core. The veil seemed to sense their presence, sending waves of smaller tendrils to probe the area. Each time, the cloaking system barely kept them hidden. We can't stay under this thing forever, Marcus muttered. Sooner or later, it'll find us. Olivia didn't respond, her focus entirely on steering the ship. Finally, they reached what appeared to be the central hub, a massive, pulsating orb surrounded by layers of protective tendrils. That's it, Elena said, pointing to the glowing mass. That's the neural network. Now comes the hard part, Olivia replied. How do we get close enough to plant the device? Before anyone could answer, alarms blared. We've been spotted, Mia shouted. On the screen, several tendrils were converging on their position. The cloaking system flickered, struggling to maintain its invisibility. Time to earn our pay, Marcus said grimly, grabbing his weapon. He and Olivia prepared to leave the ship, knowing they would have to deploy the device manually. As they suited up, Elena handed over the disruption device. Remember, you only have one shot at this. Once it's activated, you'll have less than 2 minutes to get clear. Olivia nodded, her expression resolute. Let's move. Outside the ship, the environment was chaotic. Swarms of tendrils lashed out, forcing Olivia and Marcus to dodge constantly. They worked together seamlessly, using their training to navigate the treacherous terrain. Finally, they reached the base of the hub. Planted here, Elena's voice crackled through their comms. Marcus secured the device against the surface of the orb, his hands shaking slightly as he activated it. A low hum began to resonate through the air. That's it, he said. Let's go. But as they turned to retreat, a massive tendril slammed down in front of them, blocking their path. More closed in from all sides, trapping them. We're not getting out of this, Marcus said quietly, raising his weapon. Yes, we are, Olivia snapped. Keep moving. Back on the ship, Elena and Mia watched helplessly as the tendrils tightened around Olivia and Marcus. There has to be something we can do, Mia cried. Elena hesitated, then made a decision. Start the engines. I'm going after them. Without waiting for a response, she grabbed a spare suit and stepped out into the chaos. Fighting her way toward the others, she reached them just as the timer hit 1 minute. Come on, she shouted, pulling Marcus forward. The three ran back toward the ship, dodging attacks as the hub began to destabilize. Behind them, the orb pulsed violently, sending shockwaves rippling through the veil. They leaped aboard moments before the engines roared to life, narrowly escaping the collapsing structure. As they sped away, the hub exploded in a blinding flash of light, tearing through the veil's form. For a moment, there was silence. Then, slowly, the alien entity began to dissolve, its pieces scattering into the void. On the ship, the team slumped in exhaustion, their faces etched with relief and grief. Marcus had stayed behind to ensure the device was planted correctly, sacrificing himself to give the others a chance to escape. Though victorious, the cost weighed heavily on them all. The Shadow Strike emerged from the remnants of the veil, its crew battered but alive. Captain Olivia Grant sat in silence, her hands gripping the controls as the ship drifted through the now empty void where the veil had once loomed. Behind her, Elena Morales stared at the disruption device's empty case, tears streaming down her face. Marcus Lane's sacrifice weighed heavily on all of them, a stark reminder of the price they had paid to save humanity, and perhaps the galaxy. Mia Chen broke the silence first, her voice trembling. We did it, she said softly, almost as if she couldn't believe the words herself. It's gone. Olivia nodded slowly, though her expression remained somber. For now, she replied, but we don't know if this is permanent. If even a fragment of the veil survives, it could rebuild. Elena wiped her eyes and straightened up, her scientist's instincts taking over. We'll need to analyze everything. The data, the recordings, every detail. If there's any chance it's still out there, we have to find it before it grows again." As the ship made its way back to Earth, news of their success spread quickly. The Galactic Council, once dismissive of humanity's warnings, was forced to confront the reality of what had happened. Images of the Veil's destruction, captured by the Shadow Strike cameras, were broadcast across the galaxy. For the first time, many species began to see humanity not as reckless newcomers, but as courageous defenders willing to risk everything for the greater good. Ryan Carter stood in the United Earth Alliance headquarters, watching the footage on a large screen. His heart swelled with pride, but he also felt a deep sadness. He had known Marcus personally, respected him as a soldier and a friend. The weight of his loss, and the losses of countless others, was a burden Ryan knew would stay with him forever. President Laura Hayes addressed the world in a live broadcast, her tone both solemn and resolute. "Today, we honor those who gave their lives to protect us," she said, her voice steady. "Their bravery has saved not only humanity but countless others across the stars. We will never forget their sacrifice." Meanwhile, Cal Draven, the Zorathian ambassador, fulfilled his promise. Using the beacon he had given Ryan, he transmitted a signal across the galaxy, declaring that the Veil had been defeated. The message carried an unspoken warning. Unity was humanity's greatest strength. Slowly, some species began to reconsider their stance toward Earth, offering assistance and resources to help rebuild after the conflict. Back on Earth, the crew of the Shadow Strike returned as heroes, though none of them felt like celebrating. They attended a memorial service held in honor of Marcus and the others who had fallen during the war. As Alina placed a small wreath at the base of a monument, she whispered, "Thank you, Marcus. We couldn't have done it without you." Later that evening, Olivia found herself standing alone on a balcony overlooking the city. Ryan approached quietly, joining her without saying a word. After a long pause, he spoke. "You changed everything out there," he said. "Not just for us, but for everyone." Olivia shook her head. "We didn't do it alone. It took all of us. Marcus, Alina, Mia, the engineers, the scientists, even people like you, fighting for support when no one else believed." Ryan smiled faintly. "Still, you led the charge. You reminded everyone what it means to stand together." Olivia looked out at the horizon, where the first light of dawn was beginning to break. "I just hope it's enough," she said quietly. "We stopped the Veil this time, but there are always more threats out there. If we want to survive, we can't go back to being divided. Not ever again." Ryan nodded, knowing she was right. Humanity's bold stand had earned them respect and allies, but it had also shown them how fragile peace could be. As the sun rose higher, casting its golden glow over the planet, both Olivia and Ryan felt a renewed sense of purpose. The galaxy was vast and full of dangers, but for the first time, humanity truly belonged among the stars.